It seems that Lilia is infamous amongst NRC's ghost chefs for his culinary catastrophes. During Lilia's master chef course, the head chef takes over personally, secretly setting a foolproof recipe with very few ingredients and having the other chef hide seasoning out of his reach. Lilia adds white rice, cayenne peppers and pineapple to his recipe for sautéed pea shoots with garlic, then declares he will just start over from scratch and regrows his own pea shoots in order to do so. Epel is baffled by the dish with which he is presented and the head chef apologizes. Lilia explains that there was a sudden addition to his family long ago for whom he had to cook, and after thinking about what a balanced meal could be, he hiked through the mountains, swam through the seas, and soared through the skies gathering ingredients. Epel says, "I'm not sure that's what they mean by a balanced meal." Epel apologizes for complaining about the dish and the head chef announces that, while he can tell Lilia means well, he also has the feeling he's doing it for fun, so if Epel and Jade are in support of Lilia's stance, then they must eat the meal he has prepared. Lilia offers to bake a banana cake for dessert, saying that it will need a superfood for extra nutrients, possibly some liver, and both Jade and Epel refuse. A desire to maintain a proper nutritional balance seems to be the main source of Lilia's issues in the kitchen, which comes up often.
そうじゃな。食事。もとい栄養のバランスは、わしが最も意識してきた部分じゃ。
Sebek says that he has received an incredible concoction from Lilia that provides you with the nutrients of beef, fish, vegetables and fruit, all at once. Present-day Lilia seems to enjoy cooking, but Dream Lilia from his past declares that, if you can eat food as is, any extra time spent preparing it is wasted. Dream Lilia seems delighted by the availability of rats and lizards for eating, and attempts to eat a frog at one point, saying, "If it's cooked and it fills your stomach, what's it matter what kind of meat it is?" But he also cautions Silver's group when they volunteer to cook, saying, "They have far more sensitive palates than humans do. If you try to slip in anything funny, I'll know." Silver is baffled by Lilia's declaration that he has a sensitive palate, but when Ace prepares a minestrone soup for Lilia during Master Chef, Lilia rates it unremarkable. He offers to teach Ace his own special recipe and invites him so that he might bestow his wisdom, but a ghost chef interrupts with the reminder that Lilia himself has never passed the course. Silver and Sebek insist on cooking for Lilia in his dream and he is extremely impressed by what they make, saying that it tastes like fancy food from the royal capital. Lilia tastes Silver and Sebek's cooking before it is served to his men, saying that he is testing for poisons, which may be hinting that poison does not affect him in the way that it might affect others. Despite enjoying foods that others similarly enjoy, Lilia has a history of also liking foods that other people dislike, such as black licorice and foul-tasting potions. We occasionally hear of Lilia's culinary exploits, such as when he once served a homemade meal to the students of Diasomnia, which left some collapsed at the table and made others cry. Lilia says that he continues to offer homemade cooking to the students, but they have all politely declined ever since.
皆が口を揃えて、わしの手を煩わせたくないと遠慮するんじゃ。つつましいやつばかりよの。
Lilia mentions a time that he put icing and candles on a cake before baking it, and another time he mixed 2 eggs into batter in their shells. Silver responds, "I know Diasomnia emulates legends, but to copy those 3 fairies." Lilia's cooking adventures seem to be infamous throughout the school, with Jamil saying that even he has heard horror stories about the kitchen abominations that Lilia is responsible for, silently calling him a walking culinary disaster. Lilia is able to identify what Jamil is planning to cook by the ingredients he is purchasing from the school store alone, and Jamil silently asks, "How can you be so knowledgeable about cooking when you're so atrocious at it?" Malleus confuses the ghost chef by enrolling for the master chef course despite being indifferent to cooking itself, and it is revealed that he was trying to understand Lilia, saying, "How is it that every time he makes something, it barely resembles food?" When Trey expresses interest in purchasing spices for Lilia to cook with as a souvenir during the Firelit Sky event, Malleus threatens both him and Cater with consequences to that choice. Trey decides to get Lilia something else. Malleus says, "If I never eat Lilia's cooking again, it will be too soon." Malleus looks briefly uncomfortable in a vignette where Lilia mentions making a late-night treat for Sebek and Silver, replaced with relief when it is confirmed that there's certainly no need for Lilia to go anywhere near the kitchen. We learn that Sebek's inspiration for enrolling in the Master Chef event was to learn how to make late-night snacks, as he recently saw Malleus looking despondent at breakfast the day after eating a late-night snack prepared for him by Lilia. Silver's official, least favorite food in his profile is Lilia's cooking. Lilia offers to bake a cake for the glorious masquerade event and Silver responds, "Not that, anything but that," saying that Lilia's unique culinary process involves him cooking without ever looking at recipes. As a result of being raised on Lilia's peculiar brand of home cooking, Silver says that the food at NRC left him awestruck. While proud to be Lilia's son, Silver says that Lilia's example in the kitchen is not something he strives to emulate. We see an example of this in a vignette where Lilia offers to teach Riddle how to cook a mild soup to give to an ill Trey, saying that mild, cold-busting soups are so simple to make that cookbooks never bother detailing them, and he has been through similar situations with Silver very often. Riddle composes a suit of 4 spoonfuls of soup stock to 3 cups of water, with Lilia recommending the addition of strawberry tarts, ginger, garlic, eggs, bananas, yogurt and chili pepper. Riddle agrees that it is important to maximize nutrient absorption and Lilia encourages him with, "The more nutrients you put in, the faster he'll recover." We get another example of Lilia's cooking during Port Fest, where Trey and Riddle seem to be actively fighting to keep Lilia from trying to jazz up the dish that they are selling for the festival. Lilia manages to trick Trey into leaving the kitchen long enough to create a clam chowder surprise with a secret ingredient. Lilia has Jack taste his latest culinary masterpiece and afterwards reflects on whether or not he added too many spices. Or perhaps I turned the heat up too high. Or it could have been something else. Riddle refrains from interjecting as Lilia is their leader for the day, saying, "I believe he's just trying to inject some joviality into the proceedings for the underclassmen." Jade comments on Riddle's interpretation of Lilia trying to be kind as heartwarming, and Trey says, "I think you guys might be a little off on that." Afterwards it is revealed that Lilia managed to sneakily sell one chowder surprise, which was then presumably eaten by Chinya. Trey seems to be trying to cautiously encourage Lilia's cooking adventures, gifting him with a confectionery cookbook for his birthday and teaching him how to bake some lovely treats. When Lilia says that he intends to bake some of what Trey has taught to him for his new neighbors after withdrawing from NRC, Trey responds, "Just, please follow the recipe. Make sure you pay attention to the ratios and oven temperature."